the breakthrough, I guess, for me into that next level was taking that money that I had made through Bitcoin and pretty much dumping that into an account to learn how to trade stocks. Like I made that transition into trading stocks. And it was partially because of my uncle, who is a full-time day trader.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he's been trading for like 35 years, maybe longer. And I started asking him some questions about stocks. And, he gave me some advice, but I could never really get his secret sauce from him. But anyway, that was like, I was like, I want to try this. I've got the money now. I've found a strategy that works for me trading Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Which is just really well, looking back on it, like I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but what I was able to do was, I was trading just order flow. I was watching orders come in, and in one way or another, that's what I learned how to do in the stock market. I'm not going to get into too much technicals here, just thinking about anyone who's watching, if you know nothing. Anyway, where was I? So I started trading stocks. I didn't do that well trading just shares because I didn't have enough capital.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people trade options, which is what I do now, and that's what I started doing in like 2018, mid-2018 is when I started trading options because it gave me that leverage. I only had a couple, whatever, say I started out with a couple $1,000, and I could leverage that money exponentially by buying contracts. Mm-hmm. But my first account, I think, was around 10,000, and I blew up that account. It was it was Robinhood.
Yeah.
I transferred like 10 grand from my Coinbase to Robinhood. It was like within 2 weeks, I blew up almost that whole account.
Yeah.
Trading options, which is like, that's part of the learning curve. And and I so many great traders talk about their stories about how they blew up an account or multiple accounts.
Yeah, ideally you're able to find some type of mentor, right? Mentor group that kind of, because luckily, I remember you told me way back not to leverage more than 5% of your account. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts for the past 6 months about stocks, and a lot of them talk about how important, there's so much that goes into stocks, but especially trading. And something that's super important, especially when you're trading options that are high risk, is position size and making sure you're not, really paying attention to your win rate and your win to loss ratio, right? So it's, if you're taking a 3-to-1 at 50%, you're gonna blow up your account if you lose 2 trades in a row. So you really have to be managing your risk and how much you're actually making per trade.
Yeah, and that's like what kind of getting back on track, what I was saying was, I blew up that $10,000 account. I was over leveraged. I had 95% of my portfolio was just in two single stocks.
Yeah.
Option contracts. And it was partially due to just bad luck with the overall market. I remember it was just a rough couple days in a row, and I took like a 50% hit the first day.
Yep.
And then I remember dipping down to like 2,000-3,000 in the account. Had a little recovery back up to 5.5. I remember this so well, and I was like sweating. I remember that first day I took that 5K loss. It was like the biggest loss I'd ever taken.
Yeah, I remember the first big loss is always super memorable.
Yeah.
I remember mine, yeah.
And I was just stressing. I went out, started driving around in my car, listening to music. I'm like, it's all good. Like, I'm going to make that back. Like, the contracts are going to go back up. I hardly knew anything about options. These contracts were, expiring next week. Yeah. And they were really far out of the money, really risky contracts that I never should have bought and never should have put my whole portfolio on.
Yeah, right.
But that's how you learn, right? So I ended up, that account depleted over the next couple of days to just about nothing. Yeah. So I took a full reset. I'm like, all right, this is not how you approach this. I'm like, you can't just go in blind and fly by the seat of your pants and hope that things will work out. And that's when I tried paper trading options, which I think everyone should do.
Yeah.
And even good traders, and I think you said this, experienced traders, if they're going through a rough patch,
taking a step back,
they're on a losing streak, they're down a couple months in a row, taking a step back trading on a paper account, even for a couple weeks, it's a good way to reset, to mentally reset. Anyway, that is what I did. I started trading on this paper account. Once I was able to find, consistent profitability trading the strategy that I was trading on a paper account,
then you moved it over.
Slowly started,
and then
adding to
you start with small position size, and then you slowly.
I learned the whole position sizing thing, and that's like something I didn't ever learn. Like I think this goes for a lot of traders is they focus on one thing and they do it really well, and that's what I was doing with
specializing
scalping.
Yeah,
I was specializing in one thing, scalping Bitcoin, watching the orders come in,
and you did well.
Looking for like buy and sell walls. I would watch, guys come in, buy like buy a limit order in to buy like 400, 500 Bitcoin at a certain price, and I was playing off those levels and like I didn't ever use 5% of my account. I was just trading my whole account.
Yeah, well, I mean, trading Bitcoin's a lot different than trading options because options are leveraged. Bitcoin isn't.
Yeah, I mean stocks in general. Like,
yeah,
it's a whole different world. Anyway, my point is I did not learn risk management. I didn't learn a lot of the stuff that was necessary to, be successful trading.
Yeah.
And I wish I had a mentor. I didn't have a mentor, and I think that's why the learning curve for me took longer than it should have, or longer than like it would for someone who wanted to be mentored by me.
Yeah.